Right, well... Now, ITV have been under attack for the decision to base coverage of live football around the so-called Big Five clubs this season. But as the term ends, Arsenal and Liverpool are tussling for the title. Tottenham have managed an amazing recovery. Remember, they were bottom in November. And Everton have reached 2 Wembley finals. But Manchester United, though, are ending the season with mounting problems. A string of recent defeats means that they'll finish in the bottom half of the table. Well, last week, this book, Manchester United, The Betrayal of a Legend, was published, criticising the club on 2 main fronts. Firstly, it launches a highly personal attack on United chairman Martin Edwards. And secondly, alleges that the club's overtly commercial attitude is to the continuing detriment of the playing strength. Alan Parry has this report.
Please, attention, please. There are still reserved seats remaining for this evening's game at the ticket office.
At Old Trafford, home of Britain's biggest crowds for a quarter of a century, the houseful signs have gathered dust all season. United's decline has meant an alarming drop in attendances, and with 20 minutes to kick off against Everton, the faithful who have turned up are subdued and concerned. This revealing book blames United's failure to win the league championship for 22 years largely on their directors, and in particular, Chief Executive Martin Edwards.
He's very hurt. He has this image and reputation in Manchester of being Mr. Moneybags, because he's very closely involved with the profit-making area of the club as chief executive. He spent a lot of money buying shares to follow his father to keep control of the club. He takes a handsome salary out of the club. All these things contribute to this image that the ordinary fan has of him. But at the end of the day, you've got to say about Martin Edwards is that he's a fan. He spent a lot of money to get to indulge his interest, if you like, his investment. I reckon he's got about £1 million invested in the club at the moment through buying shares. Now, OK, he takes a good salary out, and occasionally he takes a dividend on his shares. But in financial terms, he's had a poor return. He'd have done better, really, sticking his money in the building society.
United have made their own investment for the future by bringing in youngsters like 17-year-old Lee Sharp. Other young players like midfielder Russell Beardsmore, along with defender Lee Martin, have done their best, but United's results have been very disappointing. Having lost 5 of their previous 6 games, they fell behind to an early goal against Everton, Graham Sharp heading home Ian Wilson's cross. Goal scoring has been United's main problem. Mark Hughes hadn't scored in the league for 4 months, so his equaliser was long overdue. United's defence, reliable earlier in the season, has also lost confidence, and Everton clinched their first away win in the First Division for 6 months with this winner by Sharp. So United's dreadful end to the season continues, putting the board under even more pressure.
I think they've got the wherewithal to sit down and say, where are we going wrong? And I think the first conclusion they've come to is to ignore this cry for the manager's head at the moment and to say, no, Alex Ferguson was a good manager in Aberdeen. He managed Scotland well. He came down here. We like what he's done because he's laid a very good foundation at the club. He's reorganised the scouting and the coaching and everything. We'll stick by him. And I think that's the first positive conclusion that they will come to.
Which means defying the fans.
It does, but this is where they've got to be brave, because the fans will vote with their feet and the gates will go down. But then perhaps the gates have been at an artificial high in the past. Perhaps we've been living in a sort of a state of hysteria, if you like, and it's false. So they've got to sort of cut the dead wood away, if you like, and concentrate on the essentials.
So it's possible that things could get worse before they get better?
I think very likely, yes.
Well, we asked Martin Edwards for an interview on the subject, but he declined the opportunity to speak. But, Jimmy, United, for a great club, they are in some disarray at the moment, aren't they?
They are in some disarray, Ian, but I can't understand why this obsession is to win the league title. I mean, it's as though they feel it's their right to, and nobody's got that right. I mean, not even Liverpool have got that right. And I think once this obsession ceases and they turn around and say, right, let's get a team that can play football, let's get a quality side together, it might all come together. And the managers that have been there, some of them good, like Doc and Atco and people like that, should not have really got the sack. They've only been sacked because of United's obsession, and it is an obsession now, to win the championship. They've got no right to win it. So get a good side and start playing together. That's how I see it.
So you think the chairman is right to say to Alex Ferguson, OK, Alex, another couple of years in your contract, carry on?
Why not?
Aye, get a bit of stability about it.
Why not?
OK. Right, well, we'll take a break now. In part 2, action from the lower divisions, a couple of fun items, and the goal of the season competition. We'll see you in a couple of minutes.